Television highlights of the news of yesteryear. Here's Parana Riverfront at Asuncion in Paraguay. But things are not as peaceful as they look, for it's 1928, and neighboring Bolivia, once part of this waterway, is much-needed outlet to the sea. Behind restful look of Paraguay is government unrest. Neither here nor in Bolivia will officials agree to arbitration as means of settling border dispute between two nations, which would clarify Parana River problem. In 1929, 30, and 31, there are armed clashes as Paraguay and Bolivia war against each other in the Gran Chaco. In 1933, Paraguay declares war. Paraguayan General Felix Estigarriba leads his troops into battle. In semi-desert, water is an essential weapon in this South American war. Paraguayan troops advance swiftly into heart of disputed territory as Bolivian divisions suddenly fall back and then fight back with planes that delay the Paraguayan drive. It's serious conflict of worldwide consequences as League of Nations pleads for arbitration and peace. But conflict continues in Chaco territory until Bolivians are driven back to recognized border. Then, with fighting still going on, America and United Nations combine in 1935 to effect agreement which returns both Bolivia and Paraguay to happiness and peace.
It's 1920, and on beach at Venice, California, air-minded monkeys representing 4 nations are all set to compete in biggest balloon race of its kind yet recorded. 2 American contestants seem to be rugged individualists, and the same goes for the British balloonists. Well, blimey. But then they're off into the wild blue yonder, except one, which seems to be temporarily grounded. Hey, you, wait up for me. They float through the trees with the greatest of ease, and they're pretty fair in the air. This entry doesn't have all its monkeys in one basket. Confidentially, this race was just flat of monkey business.
It's 1919, as at Framingham, Massachusetts, German weapons of First World War make appearance in America. But they're not loaded, and they'll never be fired again. For they're cannon and field pieces captured from the Kaiser's defeated armies by victorious American troops. From here, they'll be sent to all parts of nation to decorate lawns in front of state houses and federal buildings. All that remains of an army once so mighty it threatened the freedom of the world, they'll now be reminders that in 1918 anyway, right was might. And they'll make pretty good chicken coops, too.
Here at Guildford on Surrey, their estate near London, are Sir Philip Gibbs and his son, and the year is 1928. Taking time off from his writing, Sir Philip beats boredom with some target practice. But then it's back to work for the author of such best-selling war books as Battles of the Somme and the outstanding Now It Can Be Told. His 2 brothers, Arthur and Cosmo, were also outstanding writers of books.
Norma Talmadge comes home to a family reunion in Hollywood. It's just 1921 as actress Norma Talmadge is greeted by Mayor Cryer after long absence from movie land. Norma is joined by sisters Connie and Natalie as Hollywood hails Talmadge the Terrific in 1921.
It's 1920, and here's a nostalgic look at Frank Bacon, Broadway's Lightnin' Bill. With 1,291 performances as Bill Jones in play called Lightnin', Frank Bacon was one of leading lights on Broadway stage in 18, 19, and 20.
It's 1931, and worst blizzard in history of entire Southwest blankets land of Navajos and Zunis with 4 feet of snow, and white men wade into highlands 40 miles south of Gallup, New Mexico, in vain and valiant attempt to rescue the trapped and freezing Indian tribes. But most of the red men are dead, frozen to death with their families. Searching the rocky wasteland and the rolling foothills under the shadow of Thunder Mountain, the Zunis and Navajos were gathering nuts, the chief source of income. Then suddenly blasts of cold winds brought snow and ice out of the heavens, and the tribes were trapped. These are the few survivors of the once great Zunis, who once dwelt in the 7 cities of Cibola. Now, with their depleted brethren, the Navajos, and with a few still living livestock, they are brought down from the snowbound highlands to the comparative comfort and safety of a McKinley County trading post. Food they receive isn't much, but it's better than nothing. And these surviving Navajos and Zunis are grateful to the white men who rescued them from death, though their hearts bleed for brethren lying dead on Thunder Mountain.
Riding out of exile to the Parliament in Bucharest, here's Carol of Romania, on his way to becoming his nation's king. It's June 1930, and popular demand has brought Carol out of retirement in a foreign land to accept his heritage as monarch. Here, as he enters to take oath of office, he accepts token of esteem and affection. It's Carol's day, and it's Romania's day, as the handsome Carol steps out on balcony of ancient castle to wave happily to his people.
It's 1931, and at Bremen, Germany, this odd-looking plane is brainchild of inventor-designer Focke. One of Germany's leading plane builders, Focke calls his new plane the Flying Duck, and claims it will neither stall nor be upset in flight. Its takeoff is uneventful, as Focke's fabulous waterbug sweeps into the skies for a flight that's uneventful too, except for one fact. Though ship looks as if it's flying backwards, it's huge success and step ahead in aviation.
Hats and flowers. It's 1920, and here's a flower show in New York where the posies aren't the only pretties around. They're daffodils, and she's delightful. Even amid Easter lilies, she looks lovely. The hats of the time make a pretty good showing, too. But biggest fashion show of 1920 is the same as any year. It's Fifth Avenue's fabulous Easter parade, as the city's best-dressed promenade up the wide walk in front of St. Patrick's. There was good sightseeing from passing buses as you looked for the day's celebrities on parade. For instance, here's John D. Rockefeller Jr. Yes, Easter was Easter even in 1920.
It's 1925, and at Franklin Field in Philadelphia, the University of Southern California masters track teams of 20 other colleges and universities in national intercollegiates. Giving the shot the heave-ho, the winner is Long Tosser Hills of nearby Princeton. Here's start of the always popular mile, and there's runner out of race already. 4 times around the quarter-mile track makes 1 mile, and distance runner Haggerty makes it a victory for dear old Harvard. Here's Haggerty after a hard day at the track. 100-yard dash is fast start, fast run, and speedy finish. Winner of the century is Bowman of Syracuse. Test of the timber and long limber legs. Here's 110-yard high hurdles with a bad fall for this fellow. Winner is Dye of Southern Cal, the champs. Upset at Saratoga. It's 30th of July, 1926, opening day of races at famed Saratoga Springs. And among 10,000 spectators are the William Vanderbilt and Mrs. Earl Smith, looking their best and hoping for a winner. Horsewise, Mr. and Mrs. P.B. Widener are here too, adding class to one of the classics of American racing. Here are two followers of the racing game. And it's post time at last, with the field walking slowly to the starting line. Favored to win in a walk is Sarrazin, with nobody in the huge crowd giving any other entry a chance in this biggest race of the day. And they're off. Pulling away from the wire with a fierce burst of speed is Princess Doreen. But as the princess leads the way past the grandstand, nobody thinks her speed will last. Yet as the race goes into the far turn, Princess Doreen stays in front, and even the favored Sarrazin shows no signs of catching her. In the stands, they're yelling, "Come on, Sarrazin!" But this is Sarrazin the horse, not Sarrazin the golfer, and Princess Doreen doesn't seem to have much respect for either one of them. And first to finish is pounding Princess Doreen.